Heavy hitters are back. Oh, man, big H's. I'm your boy Jay.
I'm your boy Emily.
I'm your boy Mauro.
Now, I'm going to be opening up this one because we're going into my territory. We're going into my home, my field.
Oh, I'm in enemy territory right now, man.
We are talking about AEW Forbidden Door that took place in Canada, Scotiabank Arena, on June 25th, 2023. I almost said 2026.
New Japan versus
2026.
No, because I remember last year Forbidden Door was June 26th, and I had that number in my head. So, June 25th, 2023.
We don't need to be in 2026 just yet.
We got AEW, we got New Japan, we got them in one roof, competing against one another. You could call it a Survivor Series of some type, in a way.
Yeah.
But
this is exactly what I want to do.
the way it goes is they have a New Japan star taking on an AEW star, or a New Japan team taking on an AEW team, whatever the match calls for. So with that, the match kicked off with the man on my shirt, the AEW World Champion, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who didn't even want to be at the show.
I'm better than you.
And
I noticed the Burberry type of the word with the Burberry. I was trying to figure out whose shirt that was.
It was MJF. Taking on the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, one thing Hiroshi Tanahashi could not figure out to save his life was how to do the high fly flow off of the top rope. Reason being, New Japan rings and AEW rings are completely different.
What's the difference between New Japan and AEW?
It's the turnbuckles. The turnbuckles are thicker and wider over in New Japan than they are here.
Mm-hmm. So he couldn't really do his move because
he did it, but it took some time for him to find his footing. Now, the whole story going in, MJF was told about he didn't want to compete. He thinks New Japan is an indie. He went as far as during his entrance to literally have a robe that said New Japan is an indie on his robe.
But
wow.
But let me.
It is indie. It is. That's what you were gonna say. It is though, right? I mean, it's the indies.
AEW is like an indie show.
But he was saying New Japan the indies.
Not AEW, this was New Japan that they were talking about.
I know, but
but we know New Japan is the independent scene. I mean, it's a largely, based company. But yeah, I mean, the thing about MJF to me is I feel like he go too hard to try to be a heel when he can just be natural.
So you think it was GP?
That, but it's more that like he always just going off at the fans, like
yeah,
like you don't gotta do that really to be a heel. Like people don't like you, they just not gonna like you. I get it. That's just extra,
I see where you going at it with though. It's like he needs to convince you that he's a bad guy.
Yeah, like if you're a bad guy, be a bad guy. Yeah, it's gonna be natural.
It ain't just like, oh, this dude's a dirtbag.
Yeah. But I mean, he impressive. Like he not like a overly bad in ring, performer.
He actually been improving a lot.
Yeah, so.
But of course, in MJF, in typical heel fashion, did not win clean. It took him utilizing the Dynamite Diamond Ring in the end on Tanahashi's skull for him to win.
I think that's good.
That's fantastic.
He was supposed to win that way. I mean, that we supposed to be angry at AG. Look how your favorite wrestler win all his matches. Austin Theory.
I thought he was gonna say Roman Reigns.
Next matchup we got.
Oh, that was it. That's all. That match.
Yeah,
I mean, outside the dirty finish, it's just a typical match. Like I said, Hiroshi Tanahashi having problems finding his footing.
His name is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I just gotta make sure I get these names right, bro. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, them New Japan names different.
Next match was for the quarterfinal match of the Owen Hart tournament that kicked off. It kicked off. And it was CM Punk taking on... let me look up his name again. I don't want to butcher it. I really don't want to butcher it. Satoshi Kojima.
Yeah.
Now,
he could wrestle.
Now, Punk...
Because imagine honoring a match to Owen Hart and it's like hella mid. That'd be disrespectful to Owen Hart.
Punk hadn't even come out yet, and they're already blowing him out of the building.
Blowing that boy in Toronto. He, like you said, he didn't get cheered at the crib.
They went as far as saying we're not in Chicago anymore.
I mean, he'd get booed everywhere else besides his home country, home city. That's crazy.
It was a good match. The one spot I loved was when he had him in the corner. You remember this? Lariat!
Yeah.
Kojima! Like just feeding into the heat. Because he knew at this point, he knew at a point that it was just how it was. If I'm not mistaken, did he pull out the Hulk Hogan leg drop?
I mean, like, you know.
Punk a little small to do the Hogan leg drop.
I mean, man, he a historian. You know, he do classic moves. You know, but I don't know. Like, a lot of the New Japan wrestlers, I'm trying to, like, just see how they is for real. Because I only really, like, Okada, the only one I really know they get like that, you know, in the ring. You know, I heard of Tanahashi. I heard of him. You know, but, yeah, I mean, CM Punk, I don't know why they booing him like that. Like, he's supposed to be over.
Bro,
I think it's because of the whole thing with All Out, with the whole brawl with him and the Elite.
Oh, so they booing Punk because he snapped.
Yeah, because people barged into his locker room.
Well, plus they
thought they were on something.
Well, plus they were in Kenny's backyard, so I think that also had a big thing to do with it. Because Kenny's from Canada. So.
Yeah, you go mess with
somebody.
somebody.
I don't think they should.
I mean, that's why if you think about it, Kenny and them and the Elite were getting booed out the building in Chicago, so
they deserve it.
I think CM Punk's just a hothead.
But in the end, CM Punk defeats them to move into the semifinals.
It's great that a real wrestler moves on into a tournament dedicated to another.
But other dude.
Or I got it wrong. It wasn't a quarterfinal match. It was a first round match.
Like, I gotta watch more of the New Japan, but a lot of them over there got it though in the ring.
Like, bro, like
Kojima's one of the older ones.
That man.
Yeah, I mean, but Shinsuke was like, I mean, you seen what he could do in WWE.
Bro.
I'm just talking about outside of WWE.
I'm just saying though, but he's from that club.
Yeah. So they got it over there for sure.
I'm just saying, that's a dude I know about from there.
Now, the next match was for the AEW International Championship.
The what?
The International Championship. It's their way of saying Intercontinental without saying Intercontinental. So they say International. You got the champion.
How many title matches? Is it like 15 titles? Because you know they got like 30 titles.
There's a lot of title matches.
You're talking strictly AEW, there was only 3.
Oh, okay, so like...
I mean, but you had
For New Japan titles, that was...
This is insane that they have these many titles.
Forbidden Door, they just...
New Japan was 2. They only did 2.
That's crazy.
But we had the champion Orange Cassidy taking on the pure Ring of Honor pure champion and Shibata taking on the New Japan Television champion and
what the hell is going on, bro?
Taking on Daniel Garcia in a fatal 4.
So Dan Garcia is the only one without a title.
Yes, and the other 3 are
There's
champions.
50 titles in this company. He couldn't get one to make this an all championship match.
He tried the Ring of Honor pure title, that failed him. He never challenged for the New Japan Television title.
What about the Never Open Championship?
He's not over in Japan enough for that to happen.
The stuff in the amount of titles in this company is unreal.
But there's a lot of varying styles in here. You had those that were all technical and submissions. You had its high spots, its low spots. I thought personally, overall, it was a good match. Personally.
So you stayed up to watch this whole pay-per-view?
Pay-per-view started at 7 o'clock and ended at like 11. It was like from 7 to 11.
A lot of the matches was not bad matches on the show though. It was just like, you know. I mean, if you went to that though, like it was good matches. Like everything wasn't just, you know, looking fake. I'm saying though, like, you know, a lot of the matches. Like I said, New Japan wrestlers they got it on the in-ring ability, and then some AEW talents can put on great matches, you know. So, you know, it's action packed.
Going into our next match, we have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion Sonata taking on Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
I didn't think like
this match was brought on by Open Challenge. Sonata challenged anybody on the roster, on the AEW roster. And Jungle Boy responded.
So Logan Tool didn't come out and try to get the match?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, I heard of Sonata too, you know. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot he even beat Okada. Didn't he beat Okada?
Yes, for the title.
Yeah, so I thought Okada still had the title.
Now, the funny thing is, you've actually witnessed Sonata before. Not many people realize this. Sonata was the X Division champion over at TNA.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when the Great Moon and them came over from Wrestle 1, that Sonata there is the same Sonata.
Yeah. It's crazy. A lot of people was in TNA like that, you know, before they got their name big, you know. But yeah, Jungle Boy, he impressive though in AEW, you know, but I didn't think he would become, like, I didn't have, you know, I'm like, he not finna become champion, you know, like, finna be IWGP World
He's had multiple title matches within the last month or so, and has failed at all of them, which led to...
He's not a championship material type person to me.
As how he is now, but he did, because he did have Hook, Taz's son, at ringside, and at the end of the match, as they're walking up, Jungle Boy turns on Hook, clotheslines him, grabs his FTW championship, which Jungle Boy made the fact of, I don't even know if the title's even recognized by the company. It's a title Taz brought up.
Man, I don't think they should. It's enough titles over there.
So he held up the title and then threw it. Now keep in mind, and you remember this, Taz was trying so hard not to say something. Because he's like...
Got his son get turned on.
Because he literally said, I'm being professional. Like, he wanted to say something, but he didn't.
Yeah, you know that hurt. Just imagine being on commentary, you see your son or somebody in your family just get turned on. It's like you want to say something, but you got to remain a professional broadcaster. You can't really speak on it at the moment.
It was so bad. We didn't see Taz on commentary for the rest of the night. He was gone.
That's crazy. Just on one turn.
You should have won got on there with Jungle Boy.
People got turned on multiple times.
Taz
left commentary because your son got turned on.
Taz was real deal back in the day.
Taz was a suplex machine for sure.
Now going in to the 10-man tag match. We got the Elite, Hangman Adam Page and Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, teaming with Eddie Kingston and Tomo Hiroishi, taking on the Blackpool Combat Club and John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli, teaming with Konosuke Takeshita and Shota Umino.
So we got the Elite versus the BBC.
Didn't Regal start that group?
Yeah, the BBC?
Yes.
Yeah.
BCC.
Yes.
It's crazy. Regal left AEW to go back to WWE, but Tony Khan told him he can't show his face until 2024.
I thought it was period. I thought you could.
He can't. Like he signed a contract where he can't be on WWE TV until 2024. But he been backstage the whole time.
Now this match, you knew was just going to be physical. You had Eddie and Moxley's friendship getting into question because
Moxley bled?
No.
Oh my God! Thank you.
that I know of. Did he bleed? I don't think
He probably did. You know, he loved bleeding.
I ain't really.
The main story going into this was Eddie and Moxley are friends, but Eddie hates Claudio with a burning passion. So it was one of those, I have a friend, but I also have an enemy in this group. And it was just one of those. The whole reason Eddie even teamed with the Elite to begin with was just to get his hands on Claudio. That's all it was.
I kind of like Eddie Kingston, but I kind of don't.
Eddie literally said, "I don't like you." He said to the Elite, "I don't like you guys, but I hate Claudio more."
It's like, cause you're not really supposed to hate like fat New Yorkers, cause New Yorkers are heard like some of the worst people. I'm dead serious. But like,
you targeted the London crowd in the video. You targeted the New York crowd. You're just going ham.
Like, I just hear like New Yorkers, they just be feeling themselves too much, bro. Like, I know we from Chicago. We influence everything. You know, they've been stealing from us. They stole the drill sound from us and all that type of stuff. New York, it's okay though. Y'all love us. It's all good. But what I'm saying is like, like New Yorkers are like some of the most like hated people, aren't they? Like, and they be so passionate about certain stuff, like the Knicks. Like the New York loves the Knicks game. I don't even understand why.
Why wouldn't they? That's their city.
They've been terrible
That's
for
they
50
team.
years. But let me not turn here on the channel, man. Let me stay a little.
Knicks was just in the playoffs.
Huh?
The Knicks was just in the playoffs. You know, they was the favorites to beat the Heat for some reason.
I mean, it was the 5 seed. He was the 8 seed. But go
Who
ahead.
won that match? Though? I kind of forgot who won that match.
The Elite ended up getting the win.
Why?
What you mean?
Why did they win?
Because they got their asses kicked in Double or Nothing. I was there for that one. They should have won that one, but no, they didn't.
Oh my god.
He told me why did they win?
And then they fought the BBC. Like, I wouldn't even want to, like, the BBC. Like, you gonna really lose to you?
BCC.
Whatever. Like, it like. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Next match is for the AEW Women's World Title. You've got the defending champion Toni Storm taking
Yes, sir.
on the New
Yes,
Japan
sir.
Strong Women's Champion in Willow Nightingale.
I like her. Toni Storm.
That's my shorty. Have my baby.
Now, before this starts getting out of hand, I'm going to just say like this. Outcasts were out there trying to get involved, got kicked out, went to a regular match. Outcasts come out again, interfere. Tony picks up the win.
Did she do the back it up?
Tony.
Or you mean the hip attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did several times.
I ain't gonna lie. Why? How come Mercedes Moné haven't like been able to get a match in AEW, but she in New Japan?
Because as of right now, she was injured. She broke her
Oh,
ankle.
yeah.
Just broke it.
I just miss seeing her
Yeah,
wrestle.
it was broken.
Like I just miss seeing Mercedes Moné wrestle. She one of the best.
She one of the best for sure.
Now, going into the next match. Now, this next match had a lot of controversy for different reasons, both the match itself and some personal reasons behind the scenes, but I'm not going to get into it. We had, for the IWGP United States Championship,
Yo, match.
the champion Kenny Omega taking on Will Ospreay.
The match
Now,
that he just had us watch.
I had them watch. They had some interesting things to say about it. I had some interesting responses, and it was just turned into an interesting situation. I'm not going to get into it. He's not going to get into it, and he's not going to get into it. We're just not going to get into it.
Talk about the match.
Let's talk about the
It was
match.
a great match. No, in all honesty, it was a great match. But it was just, certain things about the match that I was questioning. But it was a great match. But yeah, go ahead.
Just overall, if you're talking about any of the matches I was looking forward to during the whole Forbidden Door, it was this match right here.
People said this was the greatest match they ever seen. People came up to me and was like, bro, Kenny Omega and Ospreay, that was the greatest match I've ever seen. Wow.
Now, they had already had a match at Wrestle Kingdom for the title. Kenny beat Ospreay, who was the champion at the time, for the title. So this was the rematch, basically. And just overall, you could tell Ospreay, was going in with that anger. You royally beat my ass in the match. You made me bleed. You made me lose. I'm coming back for my title, everything else. And you could just tell the aggression was there, just the hard-hitting moves. Ospreay just banging Kenny's head into the table to the point where he bled. Kenny banging Ospreay's head into the stairs until he bled. Kenny DDTing Ospreay on the stairs that were standing up. It wasn't like they were laying down. They didn't. No, they were standing up on top of it.
That's when they were like, bro, stairs look like that.
Them stairs, massive.
We're not going to get into AEW's massive stairs, but they are pretty big. One of the highlights, and I know one of the things you don't like is people not selling finishers, but the one thing I appreciated was Ospreay hit Omega with his own move, the One-Winged Angel, which nobody had kicked out of. And Omega's like, yeah, you ain't beating me with that. I ain't even giving you the satisfaction of letting you get a pinfall on. The moment the ref hit, the moment the ref hits one, Kenny kicks out.
At one?
At
That's
one.
crazy.
That's how much he was not letting Ospreay get away with it.
Now,
Because it got to the point, and you guys can disagree with me on this, but this is what I saw. Is you could tell the further the match got, the more heated personally I felt like it got. Because there were some moments where I'm like, okay, I feel like they're gonna kill each other.
It was pretty stiff.
There was the Tiger Driver 91 that basically was Ospreay dropping Omega straight on his neck.
Oh my god.
Brutality. Like, you try to kill him?
I thought someone
as much as I don't like Omega, that was ugly. Like, I don't want to. He could have died from that.
You could destroy somebody if they land wrongly on their neck.
I thought someone was going to get paralyzed. I worried for Omega when Ospreay hit him with the Os cutter on the apron.
Yeah.
That was another one.
But I ain't gonna lie, he kind of put his arm in a way, so Omega was a little protected.
Yeah, but if he hadn't done that, it could have went wrong.
If he ain't put his arm in a way, Omega face was gonna get destroyed on the side of the apron.
I got something to say. This is gonna break some hearts. I despise this match. I hated this match. This match sucked donkey balls to me. But, it was just a lot of stuff. Just a lot of moves. Like, nobody's selling. It was putrid to watch. Bro, what you laughing at, bro? They were stiff. No, what you doing?
Please don't make me. Please.
So anywho, that was that match. Thank you for your input.
Will Ospreay is the brand new
not
United.
commenting on that in the match anymore.
Will is the brand new
Don't
champion.
ever
Will Ospreay
let them wrestle again.
is the United States champion.
More likely they will wrestle each other.
Oh my God, Tony Khan. No.
But
no.
Ospreay ended up getting the win in the end. Next match up, we got 6-man.
You didn't let me get all my input out on that match though.
Your input's invalid.
How? The people want to hear Jay talk.
Not about that. I need to. Next up, we got 6-man action. We got Darby Allin, Sting, and Tetsuya Naito taking on Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara.
Oh, that's that real old dude they be with.
That was the match, yeah, and that was the match where Sting did the impossible.
That's when he, oh my God, bro. I think.
What did he do again? I forgot.
He jumped off the ladder through the 2 tables.
Does Sting?
Alright.
Does Sting have good insurance?
Oh, was that on Dynamite?
That was on Dynamite. That wasn't on. That was during.
I just saw that and I was like, bro, why did he do that? But yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Sting, you do not have to push yourself through hell like that. You're 87.
But we was watching that Chris Jericho. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. We saw that one too. I think he was playing that one. Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho and yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, AEW have a lot of them 6-man tags.
They got a whole trios division.
They love them matches.
But Sting, Darby Allin, and Naito ended up getting the win.
Sting, unreal, at 64 years old.
Sit down. You made enough money. Go home.
Now,
don't ever come
I
back.
think this is just more about him just loving the business.
No, it's about money. Tony Khan has money. He's giving a lot of it out. Stop.
Give me some.
Don't do this anymore. You're old. Sit
harsh.
down.
That's harsh. That's the icon.
Steve, sit down.
That's the icon. Sting, the stinger, boy.
When I watched him as a kid, he was old as dirt then. Go home. Don't ever come back. Stop taking Tony's money. A lot of people are taking Tony's money, but you stop taking it in particular.
Bro. We need that.
so anywho, in the main event, we had the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Jake Long?
What?
You said the American Dragon.
D. Bryan.
Oh,
Bryan Danielson coming out to his old Ring of Honor theme song, the final
the
countdown,
American Dragon, Jake Long?
taking on the Rainmaker.
He was on Disney Channel. He could be a dragon.
Okada, that John Cena, New Japan. That's
before your time. Y'all remember the American Dragon?
Yeah. We talking about Bryan Danielson though. Against Kazuchika.
I rock with Jake Long though.
Okada is the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And you know, Bryan Danielson is
Can he
still.
cut a promo like Cena? Can he get the people behind him like Cena?
He barely speak English, I think.
I mean, he can't cut a promo.
No, but he does cut good promos. The New Japan crowd at the end of all of his matches. So
Yeah. Bryan Danielson with a broken arm.
but about mid-match, Bryan ended up breaking his arm. Okada went to jump off top rope with an elbow drop, ended up elbowing him in his arm, and it ended up fracturing then, but he decided to still compete.
That's what
15 more minutes.
You talk to do.
You wanna know what's crazy?
And he won.
Tanahashi and MJF kicked off AEW as the World Heavyweight Championship, and Okada and Bryan Danielson made a minute. That's like Rock and Cena, you know, and then CM Punk and Jericho. You know, it's like y'all mean something, but y'all don't really mean much.
That's tough.
Compared to Bryan Danielson and Okada.
That's
But
tough.
through all that, Bryan still ended up competing through his injury and ended up getting the win.
Got a victory over
You can tell the submission was personal because of Okada breaking his arm, because that submission hold he had him in, you can tell it was personal. But Daniel Bryan, in the end, ends up getting the win.
Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson ends up getting the win to conclude Forbidden Door 2023.
And it ended.
Obviously, there was pre-show dark matches. I'm not going to get into that. I was just talking about the
show.
the show itself.
Yeah, man, it was it wasn't a bad show. You know, everybody got their opinions on AEW, and that's how it is in wrestling. You know,
But I will admit this was a breath of fresh air because the last review we have done for an AEW pay-per-view was actually when you were having travel issues getting here. And no, we did full gear. We did full gear. So that was all the way back in November. So it's been a while. So it's nice to get a breath of fresh air.
We did do a Collision review, but that wasn't
a
show.
paper.
Yeah, so
I'm saying like AEW.
This is the first one in a minute.
This was a breath of fresh air. This was something, and it wasn't just me talking for 45 minutes straight talking about the show.
See,
I actually had input.
We always willing to do what you want to do.
I'm a wrestling fan.
You know?
One thing I want to say, and it's not about what we were talking about really. One thing I do want to say, and this is just to everybody. Wrestling, everyone has their styles. Everyone has time periods in wrestling that they love to watch. Everyone has their promotions that they love to tune into every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it falls on.
Impact come on Access TV.
Why?
Thursday.
Cancel it.
What you mean?
Whatever day your wrestling show comes on in whatever time zone, whatever state or country you live in. The point is, wrestling, everyone has varying opinions. Everyone has their varying styles.
Absolutely.
The one thing that I want to preach is I always want wrestling. Well, wrestling fans have always been very inclusive. They've brought people in. They're a very welcoming community.
Some of y'all are weird, though.
And some are weird. I've encountered some at shows that I've been to myself. I've seen stuff happen.
Wrestling fan.
But the one thing I want to preach is I want everyone to don't tear each other apart or put someone down just because they might not like a promotion you do. Someone might like, if someone likes an indie show in a bingo hall and someone likes watching an indie show in a stadium, whatever it is.
What about let us know in the comments if y'all rock with death matches, CCW.
But my whole thing is I want people in the wrestling.
It's not wrestling.
But I want people in the wrestling community to build each other up and be together, not separate just because of. There's a lot of wrestling out there, so why should people have to debate?
Absolutely. I mean,
it's fun.
It's fun. Debating is the whole point.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of this.
I mean, yeah.
Why don't debate?
Respect each other.
What debate? That's what I'm saying. I don't want people just hating other people because they don't like something that they do. Like you guys can debate, yeah, but at the end of the day, don't let it affect friendships you have, friendships that are family to you, people that are family to you, that are friends, homies, whatever it is. Don't let it affect it because personally, my personal advice is that friend you have that you got in an argument over wrestling, it probably wasn't worth it.
It wasn't.
This is all debate.
It's fun. This is what we do. We sit here and literally talk about wrestling and make it fun. And that's when people watch us. Oh yeah, he don't like that. Oh, he funny. Oh, he don't. It's just all about entertainment purposes.
At the end of the day, wrestling is wrestling, and people should be brought together, not excluded or argued or stuff like that.
That's nothing personal. But yeah, man, if y'all rock with the vid, let us know, man. We gonna have more AEW content.
So comment down below if you should start doing more AEW predictions and reviews.
It's coming for sure, cause I mean, we really don't got a choice, right? So it's coming. But nonetheless, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. If y'all rock with the vids, road to 300. We on the way.
August 5th, SummerSlam.
Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe, comment on the bell, man. I'm your boy Morrow.
I'm your boy Andrew.
Money making jam. We out.